I hear people talking about 100% test coverage quite a lot, but what does 100% coverage actually mean? Whether it's achievable or not, that's a different matter. But what do we mean when we say 100% coverage? Do we mean 100% of the lines of the code that you have in your application are executed during your test? Because that's what traditional test coverage is. Do we mean 100% of your manual test cases? Or do we mean 100% of the features that you want to deliver have been thoroughly tested? See, there are lots of dimensions to what we mean by coverage. It's quite a misleading concept. The core idea of test coverage in itself, coverage of how much code you have covered, is actually not a very useful metric, because what you are measuring is how many lines of code or how many branches in your code have been exercised when you run your automated test. And that's actually not a very useful metric, because all it tells you is that the code has been exercised. It doesn't actually tell you whether the code has been checked that it works. So it's very easy to get high test coverage without actually testing anything. Low test coverage does indicate that there's low test automation, but high coverage, not so useful. So what else is there? 100% of manual test cases? Well, where do your manual test cases come from? How do you know that they are important? How do you know that you've covered all the important things that you actually need to test? So that is a limited metric in itself as well. The metric I like to use when it comes to coverage is what I call functional or feature coverage. And what that means is that when you define a feature together with your team, with your product owner, with your business, you come up with a epic or a user story or whatever you want to call it, and you come up with acceptance criteria. And those acceptance criteria, they can be just bullet points, just it should do this, it should do this, it should do this. Each one of those acceptance criteria, you have at least one automated test to demonstrate that that acceptance criteria works. Now, you can have more than that. You're going to do your due diligence. You're going to realize that there are edge cases or technical aspects that you're going to need to test as well, and you do automated tests for them. But the bare minimum to get what I call full functional test coverage and get some confidence that the application does and will continue doing what you expect it to do is to have your acceptance criteria covered. Now, that of course means that you need to have decent acceptance criteria, but that is a different story. Thanks for listening, folks.